life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSGI. You know what we're doing. This is called One Street Over. I'm U-Turn Laverne, and we just love to see what's happening one street over from where we're hanging out. And I got Jamie Nixon in. I'll get to him in just a second. Just tell him I appreciate so much him coming in and helping us get our sports on here in Robertson County. And that's what we're trying to do, literally, intentionally on Thursdays now. So we'll unpack that in a minute. We've got the United Way folks coming in. But before we get to the show this morning, we're reading the Bible through a year. This is something I have tried to do many times, and I tried very diligently last year to do it with my friend Penny Callis from the gallery, and I really tried, Penny, I really did, but it's like I got kind of bogged down in the app and the devotionals and just all the things, and I just wanted to read the scripture, and I don't know, I just had a hard time sticking with it for some reason. But this year, Rachel and I have gotten to be just really good friends, just love her so much. She's just a true sister that I have sat and done some study with, and so she put one together herself. She put it together. She goes, "You haven't lived until you've made a yearly Bible reading plan." So she put this one together, and she does have devotionals that go along with it, but that's optional. You don't have to do that. You can truly just read the scriptures, open the Bible, turn the pages, and do it the old-fashioned way. And so that really appealed to me. I went to the kickoff this past Saturday, and honestly, I'm already a little behind, very slightly behind. We're in Genesis right now. But I told you guys, I'm going to share with you the scripture every morning, and I'm trying to get in the habit of putting it in the comments on my WSGI feed that we put up, and y'all know me, I'm a little scattered. But anyway, you can get this list if you want to reach out to Bethlehem Baptist at and just ask for Rachel. She can send you the list. She's got it in a PDF form, and she can also put you on the email list, and you can get all the devotionals and all the cool stuff that she's putting out with this. But today's Bible reading, today is the 12th, so we are reading Genesis 16 through 18 and Psalms 5. So Genesis 16 through 18 and Psalms 5 is where we are. So if you want to catch up, just get in Genesis, get through chapter 16, read the first 5 Psalms, and you're going to be back up to date with us. We'll be in Genesis through the 23rd of this month, so you can catch up. I'm going to catch up for sure tonight or tomorrow, definitely through the weekend, those kinds of things. But I'm going to do this time. But that's where we are in our daily Bible reading. I encourage you to get a Bible and do that along with us. Cannot spend enough time in Scripture. Jamie Nixon's in the house. I had Donovan Hilton in here yesterday, and do you know Donovan? Have you met Donovan Hilton?
Not.
Okay, well, he's just very involved in the community, does some reffing and all that kind of thing, and got little kids. And I don't know, he was talking about what advice I would have, what scripture I had for kids as they kind of, head out into the world. And I said, all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
And so, because Rachel, she says, if I could give advice to my younger self, I would say, read the scripture. Read it constantly. Get in there and dig in it and read it. And I agree with her. I can't say enough about get in it.
I've heard it so many times. It's the basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yeah.
The Bible, the acronym.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it. Very good. Well, Jamie Nixon's in the house, and he is voluntarily coming in here every week, or getting somebody to come in here every week, and then once a month on Mondays, we give him a full hour to unpack the sports scene around Robertson County. This is something that's been missing from this show, because I do not know sports. I tell my students at Greenbrier, I'm going to come to some of your games. Right now, I'm still kind of underwater trying to figure out my curriculum on a couple of classes that I didn't know I was going to be teaching, but it's cool, and I'm just kind of underwater for a minute, but that's okay. And but I want to get to basketball. I want to get in there, and I want the kids to know I support them. I'm just not a sports person, so it's not something that comes real easily for me, and so that's why we've not really had it on this show, because I don't know who to talk to. Yeah. And I appreciate so much you bringing it to the table, because we need that.
And we're trying. We're having a few people come in from different places. I talked to somebody from Joe Burns the other night. Joe Burns played East Robinson, so I do the broadcast. And I made a couple connections there. So we're trying to work on maybe getting somebody, to come out to represent Joe Burns. And then, still continue to try to look for that person who can help us with Springfield as well. But other than that, we got connections at East Robinson. We got connections at Greenbrier. Of course, we have Blaine Keller, who will come in on those Mondays, who covers the whole county. And
White House Heritage, right?
And what we have Rich with
White House
Heritage. So I think this is something that I'm just glad we're not trying to build something overnight. That is going to take a little bit of time.
Sure.
And I just tried to put some pictures in your comments of your thing, and I guess you can't put pictures in your comments. Maybe you can.
Okay. You'll have to just shoot them over to me. I don't know. I don't see it. It says...
No, you can't.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not giving me the option either. Huh.
Okay.
That's really weird.
It's just probably in your settings. Maybe we can post this later on your page so people can see it.
Okay. Well, I'll play with this while you're talking.
Okay.
How about that? I might be able to fix it.
So one of the things that we're wanting to talk about today was that something happened last night. It was the start of the Robertson County Middle School Basketball Tournament. We had 4 games. You had a couple girl games and a couple boys games, and I was going to go over there with you and talk about those winners and things like that.
Well, and these are middle schools. I mean, that's the thing. I heard you talking, and I was like, "Oh, there's a tournament going on. It's a middle school tournament."
Yeah.
And that's when these kids get started, and just can't say enough about it. So, what you got?
So last night, Coopertown and Joe Burns played. That was the 4th seed, and Joe Burns was the 5th seed. Coopertown beat Joe Burns last night, and then Greenbrier beat Springfield. Springfield was a 6th seed. Greenbrier was a 3rd seed. So that means tonight at 4 o'clock, or today at 4 o'clock, Heritage will play Greenbrier. Heritage was a number 2 seed, so they got a bye last night. So these games are at Coopertown Middle School. You have Heritage versus Springfield girls at 4 p.m. And you have East Robertson, who was the number 1 seed, will play Coopertown girls, who's the number 4 seed, at 6:30 p.m. And then the winner of that game will then play Saturday, January the 14th at 1 p.m. for the championship at Coopertown. So the winner of East Robinson and Coopertown and Heritage and Greenbrier will play Saturday for the championship. And I'll make sure that you have some of that update where you could post it on your page in this bracket. And then when we get over to the boys last night, just to announce it, Joe Burns was the number 1 seed. Congratulations, Red Devils. The number 2 seed was Greenbrier Bobcats. So last night you had number 4 seed play a 5 seed. That would be Heritage played Springfield. Heritage beat Springfield, so they'll play Joe Burns tonight at 7:45. And then Coopertown lost to East Robertson. East Robertson beat Coopertown. So East Robertson will play Greenbrier tonight at 5:15.
Okay.
So for the East Robinson fans, we have a game at 6:30, 5:15, and then at 6:30. Kind of a little different. Boys playing first, girls playing second.
Yeah.
It's not how it normally happens. That championship game will be Saturday as well at 2:30, right after the girls' championship.
Okay.
So 2 big championship games Saturday. If you're gonna, if you want to pick a day, if you ain't got nothing to do on a Saturday, Coopertown Middle School is going to be a great spot to watch, the best of the best from Robertson County middle school basketball teams.
That'd be exciting. And I'm telling you, they get it. I mean, those middle schoolers, I was watching my 6-year-old grandson play basketball the other day. And, it's so funny. Even that young, you can see the ones that are just, they scrap, boy. I mean, they get in there and they are just, there's a little girl that was out there and she was just hustling. I love watching these young kids find their passion when it comes to sports is exciting. And, that would be a fun way to spend a Saturday afternoon for sure.
It would.
Town for that for that tournament. I love it. And those kids, it's so funny. I'll pull up to Greenbrier sometimes in off hours when I think is off hours and have just didn't realize something was going on. And it's some, it's some maybe junior varsity kind of thing going on and places packed because people want to see their kids, doing what they love. And so you certainly are going to see the family members out there, but you can really go out and support these kids. And I'm speaking in the mirror to myself. I need to do more of that as well and trying to make time because these kids work hard at this stuff. So
we got a lot of great high school basketball action that's going around too. I mean, I know I can report. Usually I use some of these Thursdays if I don't have anybody to report on some East Robertson things. Our East Robertson girls, they're 4-11.
Okay.
So record-wise, not a great record, but we're 4-0 in the district.
Oh, okay.
So all of our losses are out of the district and quite frankly don't really matter when it comes down to the end of the season because right now we're number 1 in the district. We'd get the number 1 seed and we would get the bye. The district tournament this year for us will be held in Joe Burns.
Okay.
I believe that is correct because you have us and Joe Burns in the same district along with Trousdale County and then a couple schools from Nashville. So it was a big district game the other night. East Robinson beat Joe Burns, both girls and boys, and the Joe Burns boys team has a really athletic team, very well coached, and I don't know that the East saw the best Joe Burns team that they can be.
Okay.
I think they came out and played really physical, and that style of basketball for that night for that set of officials didn't really work. A lot of fouls called. And East Robinson got them in foul trouble early. Tolliver, who is, I think him and either Taylor Head is their leading scorers, but Tolliver had 8 points, like in the first half. He had a really good game, and they have a transfer in, I believe his name is Keelan Clarity. He's about 6'5", I think, 6'6", really long, really athletic, and so he's made a real big difference for the Red Devils. And Taylor Head, I don't think the people up there at Joe Burns can say enough about him coming back, playing football his senior year, and I think he had stepped out. There was an article Blaine Keller had written an article about him, and he came back to the football team. And one of the probably not one of the most gifted athletes, very athletic. Mm-hmm. Is there other people that are on that team a little bit more athletic? Maybe, but highly intelligent. Mm-hmm. His football IQ, from just watching him play, you can tell he's very smart on the field. Basketball IQ the other night, you can tell he's very intelligent out on the court. And I think him and Tolliver kind of lead that team. They have a lot of other great players. They have Luke Miller. They have, of course, Clarity that I mentioned, and I'll make sure I get some of these names correct. Preston Van Dyke, their starting 5 was Preston Van Dyke, Kenny Tolliver, Taylor Head, Jacob Miller, and Keelan Clarity. And Seth Snyder played a lot. Luke Miller played a lot. They have two freshmen, Burton Cox and Adam Cox, who their brothers. Well, excuse me. I guess I had a lady, Linda Cox, had chimed in during my broadcast, said that was her grandsons. I guess they could be cousins.
Yeah.
Because they don't look anything alike. And if they're both freshmen, they would probably have to be twins.
I got twins that don't look nothing alike.
Yeah.
It happens.
I know. One of these guys is like, one of them's tall. One of them's dark haired, tall.
Yeah.
Another guy's a little shorter, and he's redheaded. I mean, so it's drastically different, which I know.
It could happen.
I know.
It can happen.
I shouldn't assume.
Yeah, but you just never know. But they could be cousins, might be brothers. You just don't know. They're relatives.
And then Arnett Cotton played a lot of minutes for the Red Devils, and so that was our first look at the Red Devils. We got to see them at home. The East Robinson Indians will play Merrill Hyde this Friday night district game, and then we have the STEM and Knowledge Academies, which are the two teams from Nashville. Knowledge Academies is down in Antioch. It's actually where Hickory Hollow Mall is, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, so there's a shopping center over on the other side of Hickory Hollow Mall. Like, they turned that into a school.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of unique. It's kind of cool.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And it's called Knowledge Academies. They're in our district, and so we have them next week as well. So those three games coming up this week are, I believe, very winnable for both our boys and girls. So at the end of next week, fingers crossed, both our boys and girls are looking at 7-0 in the district. And, East won the state championship last year. And of course, we had Taylor Groves, who scored close to 28, 26 points a game. And you lose a senior like that, you lose a lot. Elijah Groves has definitely stepped up this year. And I still don't think that East Robinson has played their best basketball yet.
Okay.
I still think they're kind of searching for that fluidity of chemistry out there on the court, because sometimes they'll play really good for 4 or 5 minutes, and then they'll turn the ball over, and it's like, okay, have you guys ever played with each other before?
Yeah.
And so I think Coach Caton, Coach Jimbo, and Coach Cesaro is doing the best that they can do, trying to figure out the chemistry of that 5 to 8 players who are going to play the best together. So of course, with me being out there on the broadcast, I have a lot of information about that. This is where, if you guys get tired of hearing me give you lots of details about East Robinson, hey,
bring on the other schools.
Yes, you can give me a text, 615-543-1973, and just contact me if you don't want to come on the show. At least you can give me the details and things like that.
Give that number again. Do it twice.
615-543-1973. Just send me a text, introduce yourself, and we can go from there. But I'm really looking forward to tonight's matchups, because tonight's matchups really decide who goes to that championship game. So tonight's going to be a great night of basketball. You're going to pay one price. You're going to get in. You're going to see 4 games. And then that's going to make you fall in love with middle school basketball, because it's going to be a decent high level of basketball. You're going to see why the number 1 seed teams are number 1. And maybe there'll be some upsets. Maybe there won't be. I'm hoping there's an upset there for our East Robinson middle school boys. But normally, sometimes in these middle school tournaments, those seeds mean something, and those teams usually prevail.
So, and would it be fair to say that these kids are going to go into the prospective high schools, that if they're in the middle school for East Robinson, they are going to go to East Robinson High School, or does the districting change? Or
well, no, because
so will you get a preview of what's coming into your high school for sure? Because the way the districts fall,
100%.
sometimes, I don't really know.
It's kind of crazy. Well, not crazy, but out there in Cross Plains, Orlando area, East Robinson and middle school and high school are together. I mean, the buildings touch.
Oh, okay.
The middle school and high school share library and cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
That's really all that they share. It's 2 separate schools, 2 separate offices, but the hallways connect. I know right there at Greenbrier, you guys are just right across the street, from each other. And you guys got a new building coming up there. And, so everybody who's coming to Greenbrier is just going to come across the street and over there. I believe where I think some things happen is where, some Coopertown kids will go to Greenbrier, I believe some Coopertown kids go to Springfield.
Right, because they don't have a high school.
Right, and then you have Kreisel. right? And then some kids from Kreisel will go to East Robertson. Some kids from Kreisel go to Springfield, I do believe.
Okay.
And if you're at Joe Burns, then you're going to go to Joe Burns.
Okay, very good. And I'm learning. Yeah. I'm new to this. And you're schooling me, even though I played basketball. I tell everybody, I played basketball because that's all there was to do back home. I wasn't really into it, you know. It was just expected of me because I was so big, and it's like, well, you're of course going to play basketball. And so I don't remember a lot of details about it. I know the game and I know how it works and all that. But you know, this is one thing that I'm never 100% sure of. When you give somebody, you say, well, their record is 4-11.
Yep.
Are the wins always first?
Yes.
And the losses always second?
You always start with a positive.
Okay. So it's always, so if you're 0-10, that means you haven't won anything.
That's not very.
10-4, then you've won 10 and lost 4. Always the first. Okay.
If you're 0-10, you don't have an undefeated season. You have a defeated season.
Okay. Well, because when you start throwing those numbers out, I'm thinking, okay, I think that's what that means, but I wasn't sure. Okay. Yeah. Good to know.
So the East Robertson boys right now are. Our boys and girls have played a different amount of games. I think the girls have actually played more. I think that is correct. Our girls are 4-11.
But they're still first in the districts, what you were saying, because the wins that they've had have all been, the losses they've had have all been outside the district.
All right.
Okay.
And our boys are 11-3.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So the girls have played one more game.
Okay.
Than the boys.
Okay, now tell me this, and this is another thing I always get, jumbled in my head. When does the actual high school season really end? What time period? How long do I have to get to these games before my students go, you didn't come to any of my games?
Well, you've got so you asked that, and I can bring up the schedule for East Robinson and tell you when their last game for them is. Usually in January and February. The district tournaments is happening mid-February because the state tournament is always around March. Like
March Madness.
March 18th is the boys state championship.
Okay.
So that's that's the second weekend of March.
Okay.
So the first weekend of March is the girls state championship. So usually everything is wrapped. Everything is wrapped up by that second week of March.
Okay, as far as even tournaments, but when do the district tournament starts?
You're wanting to know how long you have.
I'm wanting to make sure I get to a couple of games, and I know time is ticking away. And so I got to get my and plus too, I've got wrestlers that I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
Elvis, is in my class, and I'm real interested in how he's doing, and so I want to go see him wrestle. And I know some, just several on the wrestling team too. It
was kind of funny. There was I do a lot of officiating for junior varsity games.
Okay.
Games where, if somebody was to see me show up at a varsity game, first of all, I can't because I'm with East Robinson all the time.
Right.
But if you did see me at a varsity game, you're kind of like, wait a second, you have really close affiliation with another school. Not that the game I officiated was JV game was Greenbrier and Liberty Creek. But there was, I could tell that they were athletes, and I just couldn't figure out for a second. It was just escaping my brain. A lot of kids from Greenbrier were sitting over there in the stands, and one of the kids asked me for the ball, and so I was like, threw it to him. And when the kid said, "What are you going to do with that?" He goes, "I don't know. I didn't make the basketball team. That's why I'm a wrestler." And then one other kid said, "Well, that's a lot of us." And this one other kid said, "Not me. I'm a wrestler." And I was like, all right, that dude takes it serious,
I bet that was Melvis.
Yes, and he was, it was, but they got up, they were on, it looked as if their coach got them together. They was going to a match on Tuesday because they were all together. They are dressed out in their, in their Greenbrier gear, looked like they was going on.
Oh, I'm going to find out if that was him. He'll know. Yeah. He'll know if he said that. Yeah. He'll know. He's intense.
They were all sitting over there, and that was great. And it was cool to see, I know where Robertson County, Sumner County has that new school, Liberty Creek over there, and they came in and, and you guys as boys and girls both beat them in junior varsity. I don't know what happened in the varsity.
Oh, I'll find out.
But,
okay.
But yeah, you guys have you got a couple girls that can play really well on that JV level. man, you guys got some big boys coming up. I mean, you had 2 kids that were easily 6'4", 6'5", and and they look like they were freshmen or sophomores.
I see them in the hall, and I'm like, okay, and they could be in my family, So we talk about that. That's one thing. I have pictures, family pictures up, and the kids see me standing amongst my guys, and I was like, and I'm in heels in that picture, and they're like, really? Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, we're big folk. But anyway, let me take a pause here.
Okay.
We're talking with Jamie Nixon, and we're talking about all things sports in Robertson, in Robertson County. And we want you to come in and help us do this. I mean, he's East Robertson. We've got some representation from Greenbrier, from White House Heritage. And who else did you say we've got covered? Or those
Greenbrier and White House Heritage, working on Joe Burns.
And we really need somebody from Springfield. So bring it on in here. And any of the middle school, any of the sports, man, that you want to cover and talk about, reach out to this man, reach out to me, and I'll point you to him, because I don't know anything about it. I don't know. So he's keeping up with the Thursday mornings. We're dedicating 7 to 7:30 to Robertson County sports, and then the first Monday of the month we're giving an hour, and we need help with this. This guy's got business and things to do, so he doesn't need to have to come in here all the time, but he's been very gracious to help us out with it. So contact him and get in touch with him. And we also want to contact Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. The best way to stay up to date on everything going on with them, go to their Facebook page. That way you'll keep up to date when their hours adjust. They always adjust the hours because of the season. They're not out there as many hours as they are during the summer right now because it's cold. Well, it's not today. It's kind of mild. But 10 to 4 are their hours Monday through Saturday, and then 1 to 4 on Sunday. And I mentioned the mild temperatures. This is the perfect time. While we're having this little mild spell, get your garden ready. Get your garden ready. Get the soil turned over. Get it ready to go. Go talk to Amy about when to plant lettuce and all the cool weather vegetables that you've got to get in the ground in February, guys. If you really want to have a cool weather crop, you've got to get ready. Now's the time to do it. Don't wait, or you're going to be mad at yourself. Get out there, and if you want help, Brian Pulley's going to be coming in here in a minute. I probably should have held this out for him to talk about it, but he was talking about how they got all of their bedding plants from Corbin last year. He says it's the best garden they have ever had. Hands down. It's because they pay so much attention to the root system of their plants. They make sure that everything is well rooted, and it's going to do beautiful in the garden, and you're going to just get great produce from it. Now's the time to start preparing for that. Get out there and talk to them about all those things, and also talk to them about CBD products that are produced from Robertson County plants. Everything that they have produced from plants that her brother Bill grows. CBD is a big part of my life because I have arthritis, and I don't like taking pharmaceuticals. I don't take anything other than natural substances like CBD. And it may really be a help for you too if you're like me and have arthritis, maybe you have trouble sleeping. They've got salves for bug bites and for pain salves and all the things that you can go and check out that she and her mom, Miss Jane, actually make right there in the house. Go and see them today. You can give them a call, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161. Always let them know you turn the show. And back to Jamie Nixon with tell them what you do.
So I own a marketing company called Nixon Pro Media. We're a full service marketing company. We can do print, we can do T-shirts, hats, things like that. I have connections and network for that. But what we do in house, what we specialize in is social media marketing, digital marketing. We build websites. I tell everybody the sports analogy. That's our fastball belt high. Mm-hmm. That's the pitch that you're looking for, and that's what we do really well. And so we're normally really trying to help small business, the medium-sized business, have their digital footprint, be out there on social media. We help you make content. We can manage your social media pages, and we can just. One of my clients said this 5 years ago, and I use it all the time. We help people buy brain cells.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So get in touch with them. How can they get in touch with you for Nixon Pro Media and anything that we're talking about?
Yeah, just nixonpro.com is probably the easiest way. Just Nixon as in the former president, NIXONPRO.com.
Easy.
That is the best way. We're also under Nixon Pro on Facebook, Nixon Pro Media on Instagram. Okay. But yeah, the easiest way is nixonpro.com. If you're a business and you just want people to see your stuff, you want to become, famous, you want to push your products, your services, whatever, we can help you do that through social media. And if you need a new website, we can do that as well.
And I'm going to be calling him later and saying, okay, what do I need to look for my settings so you can post pictures in my comments? Because I don't know. I was looking and I didn't see it. So we'll figure that out later. But those are the kinds of questions that I don't have the answers for. So we need you. I need you to come in and talk to my audio video class sometime too. Yeah, we'll hook that up because I think you would have a lot to share with them.
And I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get a schedule so I can let you know about when's the last day that you need to.
When I have to get out there. Do you have? Well, we're just in the last couple of minutes, and do you have anything as you're wanting to head out the door? We can get the schedule together, but I know I kind of got a general idea. I need to get to the games.
I just want people to realize that in Roberts County you have student. It doesn't matter what sport it is. I know a lot of times we focus on the big three. Even at East Robertson, one of the things that we start off just doing football, basketball. Then it went to football, basketball, and baseball. I had a lady come by last night or Tuesday night, and she leaned over and she goes, "Hey, I'm working on building you something at the soccer fields," because there was nothing for me to get high enough over to see the field,
right?
And it was really hard to do soccer, and and so people want to watch these games. I have people. At one point during football season, if you looked at a map of the United States, people watching the East Robertson play in the state tournament or in the state playoffs, you could actually, I had states touching all the way across.
Like wow.
Like if you was to drive from people watching, and of course we get those analytics.
That's cool.
Yeah, we get those analytics, and then we ask people where they're watching from. And even with basketball, you have a lot of alumni that want to keep up. They just can't.
Yeah.
I know there's alumni in Gulf Shores, Alabama. There's alumni, up in Chicago. We have alumni from East Robertson in Montana, and they're tuning in. And what's really neat is because then we have sponsors. The sponsors pay for those spots to be advertised during the broadcast, and all of that money goes to the school. It goes to the program, to that respective program, and so it really helps. It really helps, goes a long way. Sports are expensive, and and there's definitely things where people would say, well, that money could be used on something else. Well, student athletes. And I'm not saying this is for all kids, but sports teaches you a lot about life. Parents, if you're out there, let your kids play multiple sports. College coaches have said that they will take kids that play multiple sports higher over than the kids that specialize in a sport.
Yep.
It proves that they're coachable.
Yep.
Because if you have the same coach all the time, pretty much, then you've only been coached. So what's going to happen when you go to college? You're going to have a brand new coach, and it's like, how are you going to react? Well, at least during high school, you've had multiple coaches.
Right. And I'll tell you, we're out of time. I know that we've got Brian and Tiffany here. Let me ask you just real quickly,
right.
when is the boys soccer season? Because I see them on the field practicing.
Yeah, boys soccer season and baseball go hand in hand.
Okay, they're at the same
So it's a
time.
spring. Yeah, it's a spring.
Okay.
And girls soccer during
is in the fall.
Yeah.
Okay. I see the kids out there practicing, and I've had a lot of soccer players come through, and several of my students, my Latino students especially, what are you going to do when you get out of school? I'm going to be a pro soccer player. And I'm like, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
You just go for the dream.
It'll start in March. But hey, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yep, thank you very much.
And I will see you next Thursday, or somebody representing you next Thursday.
It'll probably be me and somebody else, maybe me and Mr. Lopez from Heritage.
Sounds wonderful. Right. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Jamie Nixon, Nixon Pro Media, and all things Robertson County sports, specifically East Robertson, and we appreciate him so much. And we're going to let Brian and Tiffany come on in here while I talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends in real estate, do you need somebody to help you? Are you getting ready to sell some property? Do you have something, a question? Maybe you're just, dipping your toe in the water and you're thinking, hey, maybe I want to be a realtor and you need a mentor. Well, how about a couple of mentors with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team? Barry and Rebecca, they're just awesome. Great couple. They're one of us. They're Robertson Countyans. They're up in Cross Plains, been there for over 20 years. Rebecca, one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. And Brian, I was just like, I'm so ADD. And you're going to have to go and get your chair, but that microphone, it'll just bend on in here. But yeah, your chair's out there in the hall. But Barry, I was going to say, was a vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years, and took that experience into real estate, which means you just got a great team there that work together to make sure you're properly represented. No matter if you're buying or selling, whatever side of the table you might end up on, they want to help you out. And you're going to have to fix my camera now. You bumped that camera as you came in. Here it is. Brian's just breaking everything. Brian's just coming in here and he's just breaking everything. But Back to Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. And if you want to connect with them, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. You will also be able to get them on the phone line, 615-504-7425. 615-504-7425. You'll find them. I'm going to have to just get off there and help Brian before he breaks something. But anyway, be sure and get hold of Barry and Rebecca Richards again and tell them always that U-Turn Center, we appreciate their sponsorship here on One Street Over. Okay, Brian. Okay, just we'll let Tiffany take it and I'll help you out with the microphone.
Trying to get Brian on the Facebook feed.
Well, and it should be. I mean, we had it fixed yesterday. Hang on, don't break it. Don't break it.
I'm scared. I
started to set that up. I started to set that up when I got in here, but then I thought, well, I don't know that Jamie's going to have anybody with him, and so I wanted to make sure, I didn't want the microphone to be in Jamie's face, so I didn't set it up. But now you see, it is. Are you on the camera? Okay, good.
As much as I need to be.
Okay, well, okay, fine.
We're featuring the better looking of the two.
He just breaking everything as it comes in here.
I was bragging to her how well we were starting off the school year, but now I'm breaking your equipment. So.
You're fine. Hi guys, I've missed y'all. My
Happy
goodness,
New Year.
it's been
Happy
forever.
New Year. Good to see you.
It's been forever. Yes, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all the things.
You have a good holiday break?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And I'm still kind of discombobulated because I don't really take time off much, and so I was just telling Jamie, I said I need somebody in here for Faith Friday because I've not spent any time really scheduling. I let Lee Marie do the show for a week, and so I just feel like I'm just still kind of getting my gears going and trying to get curriculum together for kiddos. And
I think everybody's feeling that way a little
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit of restart
like all
here.
these pieces of my life that I just all set down for a little while. I got to start picking back up.
Yes, exactly. I do the Celebrate Recovery up at Madison. I'm the ministry lead on that, and I was trying to find a testimony for last night. And everybody's like, give me a couple of weeks. I'm like, I need you now.
Right.
So I ended up having to do mine.
Yeah.
And because that's something that you don't need to know all this stuff, but we just talk.
It's all
But
good,
nonetheless, we're all just trying to kind of get all the wheels rolling.
The
So
most
go ahead.
nervous I've ever been, we had a church we attended in Nashville, and we had a pastor that did that every Sunday. Somebody would get up and give their testimony, and he asked me to do it. I've never done that before in my life. I've spoken in front of a lot of people, from college ADs and presidents and large groups of people and stadiums full of people, and I was shaking in my boots because it was so personal. It's a very personal thing to share with somebody, but it was powerful too to like say that out loud. And you're doing it for obviously for the to glorify God, but it was a very very nerve-wracking experience. I didn't know what I was going to say, and I didn't get half of what I wanted to get out that was in my head and heart, and so it's
See, my church does it once a month.
Yeah.
Like one Sunday is dedicated once a month to testimonies, and it's like open mic. So there's nobody assigned.
So you can just get up if you feel it.
It's just open mic. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you feel
prefer
moved to
that.
do it, then you get up and you do it. And so it can be nerve wracking, especially since it's not like a structured speech where you're like,
I think I would have done better. He texted me. I was on a date with my wife, which we got very rarely back then, and he texted me like that night before. And it's like, hey, are you really? He talked to me about it before. He's like, are you ready to do that? And I was like, I guess.
Sure.
And so the rest of the night, I'm just trying to think about what I'm going to say.
You're like, thanks for ruining date night.
Right. I'm sitting there, get ready to eat a nice steak and relax a little bit. And it's like, now I got to figure out what we're going to say. But I was glad he asked me because it was one of those stretch things, like you're stretching in your faith a little bit.
Well,
so,
and the Driscolls will appreciate this. Matt and Christy run the one up here at Epiphany, and they've been after me to get this done. And I'm having to kind of fine tune it because it was one of those things. They have you write them out and Celebrate Recovery, and the reason why is they don't want you rambling. Well, I got most of mine written out, but there were a couple of places I was just like, I put a couple of words like a bullet point, and then I tended to ramble. So I'm clarifying that, and I'll get it to you, Christy, in the next day or so. So, because they make us write it out, and there's a reason for that because it keeps you on. They want you to get it out, and it's about that.
Helps you too.
That's in your sense to each other, so people see, hey, I'm not the only one going through this, and it just heals us all, and that's out of scripture. So
Amen.
do it,
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
testify.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, let's
I
get
can
going.
testify. There's some rambling going on at open mic Sunday at my church.
Oh yeah. Thinking about that's a very deep thing.
Yes,
It's
it
hard
is.
not to ramble because it's like I'm trying to think about everything God's done for me in my life, I'm going to ramble some. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like there's going to be some rambling.
Yeah.
So writing it down is really good. And I wish
It
I would have
does.
written out some. I was like, I'd speak all the time. I'll be fine. And then I
Yeah,
got out there
it's
and just
different.
was
It's
a
different.
blubbering mess.
Yeah.
Plus you have it. Like that's as
Yeah.
you're saying that, I'm like, I'm not sure I've ever like written. I mean, I have in certain places for certain things, you know, but not really like.
Come to Celebrate Recovery, and we will help you walk through
There
that.
you go. Good plug.
Because it's for everybody's hurts,
Yeah.
habits, and hang-ups.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, it's one of those things. Epiphany has one here. We do one at Madison. They're all over. They're pretty much every night in this area. And it's only about 30% of the people that do Celebrate Recovery have chemical or alcohol addiction. Everybody else have just all the other stuff.
Oh,
All the
absolutely.
other
we all
stuff.
need to recover. We all need to
Yes.
heal.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
What do you mean
And,
by other stuff?
Huh?
What do you mean by like other stuff?
Everything from anxiety
I got you,
issues
I got
to weight issues. I've always had food issues. I'm from a biracial family. People don't really know that about, you know, well, I talk a lot about it on here, but I have a biracial nephew that's 40-something years old, and that happened in rural West Kentucky in the late 70s. That was a thing.
Sure.
And it really affected me because I was just very angry at the way people treated my
Sure.
sister and my brother-in-law, my nephew, and our family. You
Right.
know, that was a thing for me for a very long time.
Yeah.
I had a real chip on my shoulder. If you said anything I thought was even borderline racist, man, I was in your face.
Yeah, so much
And then-
different back then, particularly in the rural areas. It was
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was very intolerant of people who you should not be in any way, but I would just get angry, you know, and that's, you just can't deal with even stupid bigoted people in anger. You have to deal with them in the love of Jesus, and
do.
you know, so processing through all that, and so yeah, that's
Yeah.
part of my stuff, and
Okay.
also, you know,
We've gotten deep.
We can get deep, man. It's like going to jail. You asked.
I did
That's
I did as a good.
and that's just the edge, you know.
Right,
but,
right.
but seriously, come
Yeah.
unpack it with us at Celebrate Recovery.
Yeah.
Tuesday nights at Epiphany Baptist Church here
Tuesday
in
nights.
Springfield.
What time?
5:45 they'll feed you, and at 6:30 we have the whole
Nice. I wanna
thing.
check
and
it out. Yeah,
Same
I wanna check it
hours
out.
at Madison Church of Christ on Wednesday. So.
Okay.
Very
Excellent.
cool.
I
Yeah.
will say
I'd love
too.
to come.
Sometime if you want an additional segment, you should just let me and Jamie talk about sneakers for 30 minutes. He's a sneakerhead just like me, and we're about the same age. So
You're
I think it's
hysterical.
I think it's something about that age we came up, like when the Jordans were introduced, and it's a thing. It's a weird addiction.
Is that what y'all were talking about?
Yeah, he is worse than me.
I can hear y'all.
It's almost like recovering addicts that are like, how many pairs do you got? How many pairs do you got? Like we were comparing our stories. He's ahead of me a little bit, but
I have a friend.
It's a problem.
I have
Brian
a
now
friend
feels
that's-
like he'll catch up.
Well, I don't feel as bad. I was like, well, I'm not as bad as that guy. So,
I have a friend at Celebrate Recovery that shopping is her
yeah.
thing. So just saying.
Mine amplified, and I was telling him during the pandemic when we were home so much, and the online thing, like with the sneakers particularly, I started. I could use, and it got.
How many pairs of sneakers do you
You
have?
don't even
Brian?
know. So he told. Well, I'll share. I'm probably in the 30 range, and he has got like 60, 70.
What?
Some of them I've never worn. You
What?
collect them. Yeah, and I could resell.
What?
Now see, I could resell them.
I have one pair of sneakers.
and triple them up. Like
I don't have any.
It's
I don't wear
the
them.
sneakerheads that are listening will understand what we're talking about.
Wow.
So yeah, the kids call putting them on ice. So you buy them and you just kind of hold them, and you can resell. I can resell a lot of them. So because my size is very common, I'm 12, which is a very common men's
Wow,
size. So,
that's
yeah.
hysterical.
So we could talk one day and compare notes, and if you've got sneakerhead listeners out there, so
That helps me to understand. I had a friend that put up the Christmas experience with her family, and her daughter was opening stuff, and it was all sneakers. I mean, I
Yeah.
bet she got 10 pairs of shoes, sneakers.
Wow.
It's a
And
weird
I was
deal.
like, what?
I wish
You
I could
know,
explain it better to you.
I
I
couldn't
just
get.
can't.
I was like, what is that? You know.
Part of it is when you're younger. My mom used to make me a cool thing. She'd make me pay half on all the shoes. Like I liked nice sneakers when I was a kid. It's like, you're going to pay half of this, and I'll pay
Okay.
that. So you had some skin in the game, and you took care of them and all that. But I couldn't only afford so much, and my friends would get ones I wanted, and so I think I'm recouping some of my childhood stuff now that I could probably afford
great.
some nice shoes. And you collect them, and it's some of the older ones, and it's a really weird thing. I wish I didn't have it, but we could talk about it sometime. me and
Wow.
Jamie. So
This is great.
I've always admired his shoes. Every time I see
I
them,
love
I
y'all.
look
You're
up
so
on the
much
speak.
fun. Everybody says, why do you let United Way come in once a week? Because we do this and it's fun.
Brian rambles.
It's fun. We
We'll
like
get
it.
to talk about some. We got a lot
Yeah.
of good stuff to talk
So
about.
what's going on?
Yes,
We get to it.
I'm sorry.
I love it. Says we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Tiffany, what are you going to talk about?
Yeah, it's like,
I'll start it.
We'll let you go.
I'll
Let you go. Go for it.
I'll start. I can start with my heroes of the week.
There you go.
Just tie in with
Okay.
the United Way stuff. This week, I was fortunate enough personally, and then also as an organization. So 4-H has their public speaking every fall.
I love it.
And then they have the county for all the schools, and then they come and compete in the county, and then the winners from there go to, I think it's a sub-regional is the next one. And so I did this last year, and I was fortunate enough to do it this year through Rotary. Where a lot of us are judges for the public speaking, and then also our partnership with United Way. They're one of our funded partners, 4-H is, or Tennessee Extension, and just do an amazing job. And so got a chance to do that this year, and my heroes of the week for all those young people to get up and speak in front of their parents, their peers, and all of that. Just an amazing experience. I would, if you're looking at another volunteer event, you want to volunteer, be a judge at those. You get to give them feedback. A couple of them we pulled to the side, and they asked me, how did I do? And you could really talk to them as far as, because they're trying to get better at what they're doing, particularly like the high schoolers. I had the fourth graders last year, and this year I had the older kids, and it was a little different because you want to help them get better because they're going to compete at the sub-regionals and kind of compete. But to see them get up, first of all, I always tell them, I was like, you did something that probably your parents, they're sitting in this room, don't even want to do, or maybe have never done. So stand up and prepare a speech and give that in front of a bunch of people you don't know, and their peers are in there watching them. And so it takes a lot of courage. I heard at one point, public speaking was the number one fear above death, and it was an old Jerry Seinfeld joke. He said, so you'd rather be in the casket than give the eulogy, But for people, it is that strong of a fear. And so I had a couple of high schoolers, and you could see them their hands were kind of shaking a little bit, but their presentation was beautiful. And so just an amazing program that one of many that 4-H does here locally to develop our young people, but then also the kids to getting up and having the courage to do that and try to better themselves. And my little girl, I'm going to give a little, she participated this year for the first time as a fourth grader. She was scared to death. The judge kind of helped talk her through it, and she got there and did a wonderful job. And I'm very, very proud of her. But she was so proud of herself.
Yeah.
And, she wants to be a teacher one day. And I said, well, you're gonna have to do this every day. You're gonna stand up and talk in front of people. And so, just big shout out to those kids to stand up and do that and try to better themselves, and for what 4-H is doing in our community to help our young people.
I love it.
Really
That's
cool.
a great hero of the week.
Yeah,
Very
really
good.
cool. Really cool. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Kudos.
And also a couple of them. One girl, she may run for governor probably next year or something. She was so good at it. And I was like, you're already way better than me as a public speaker, and you're in 10th grade or whatever. It's she had it memorized and had the kind of the hand motions with everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's
But
really good.
Timmy Mann and his group at 4-H, good job. Excellent
Have y'all
job.
ever seen John Rose's wife Chelsea speak? Our former congressman they just went to if you ever get a chance to see Chelsea Rose speak, go.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
She's like
dynamic.
that.
Some people
Yeah.
would say- I tell
And
you
I
it's a
think she
gift.
must have started very
Yeah.
early, but and she came up through Future Farmer. She's
Okay.
an incredibly
Yeah.
gifted speaker.
You can
Yeah.
hone that skill,
Yeah.
but I do think it's like being a musician or a ball player or anything else. Some of it is natural. Some
Right.
people are just naturally more
Right.
dynamic in front of a group, and then if they work at it, they can really enhance that skill. But then some people just they're terrified, but they overcome that. And those are the ones that impress me. We had one young man, I could tell younger, he had a speech impediment because you could just tell, and he had overcome that.
Isn't that amazing?
And his speech, he was one of our winners because his content was great, his story was great, and the way he delivered it, he was funny. He had jokes in there, he just really was dynamic with it. But you could tell he had worked really hard to overcome the speech impediment, and that was the one that got me that night.
Right.
Yeah, because
That's cool.
he had taken something that was a weakness and now was becoming a strength.
Yeah,
amen.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I love those stories. I love those stories. Now Tiffany's going, oh, I got to top that.
I told you I had good stuff. I told you I came with good stuff.
Brian, you always got good stuff. I never question that. So no,
You're funny.
That's awesome. I love it. I think once you have that public speaking skill, you can go so far in life. I tell my kids all the time, it's not what you know, it's how well you can tell the story. So, anyway. But yeah, so we got great things going on in the community. Robertson County is always looking for great service opportunities. One of them, though, I've got to give a shout out to CASA. February 28th, they're starting their new volunteer training, and this is only offered twice a year, or their advocate training, I should say. And then one of the reasons why I love it is because it teaches you how to be an advocate. All of us need to be an advocate in so many different aspects of our lives. And so to be able to get this free training on how to become an advocate is such a blessing anyway. So that's February 28th. You can contact Leah Blocker. You contact me and I'll get you in touch with anybody you need to get in touch with. But their email address is casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com. So, or you can call me at 615-780-2511, 615-780-2511, and I'll get you where you need to go. But it's an amazing training. Like I've done it a couple times when I worked for CASA, and so there's a lot in there about child welfare that
I really have way too much going on, so I can't get into something like that. But man, I wish I had the time. I just think that would be amazing.
Well, it might not be your season right now, but
I think it'll exactly as soon as I get my teaching certification and things. My next couple of years are going to be a little more harried because I'm trying to get all the things done. But maybe when I get on the other side of that, I can because it's really not that big of a time commitment.
It really isn't. Once you get past the training is 30 hours, but they spread it out over 10 weeks. But then it's about 10 hours a week or 10 hours a month, and some months it's that, some months it's not, really, to be honest. But it's one of those things that I wish I would have done when my kids were little, when I was looking for something outside of just my own little family, just to enrich my soul. Feel like I was giving, even though as a mother of young children, you are giving all the time, there's something that fills your soul a little bit more about giving outside of your own four walls. And so I really, really, if I could go back in time, I would have gotten involved with CASA when my kids were little.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you really, realize. I was talking to a friend the other day. I'm like, I have a hard time complaining about any of my trials because, there's so many people that carry so much more. And so it really helps you put your own life into perspective when you see what these little kids go through, what they're overcoming, what they will have to continue to overcome the rest of their lives. And so
it's amazing.
It's
amazing. Very good program. And so tell them, and they can just reach out to Leah if they're interested in the training.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find her on Facebook, you can find her on Instagram, you can find her again at Casa of Robertson County @gmail.com. But yeah, so if you're interested in the training, they'll sign you up till the last minute, but there is kind of a process of like getting into the training. There's an interview process and some background checks and stuff. And so the sooner you get in touch with them and get going, you'll be ready to go by February 28th. And so, I'm still a CASA, and I, got a text message last night from the foster parents that the baby who came in very malnourished, like pretty close to death, like she was very neglected and malnourished, she's in speech therapy. And so she sent me her speech therapy report last night that she's now, saying dog and making animal noises. And so she's been in custody for a year. So, it's like just watching her healing happen as she's,
how beautiful.
It's just a cool thing to be part of. I'm doing none of the work. I just get to like sit there and see all the amazing things going on. So, anyway, so I will always tout CASA. I think it's a fabulous program. And
I do too.
They're doing great work.
I do too. And eventually I'll get there. It's something that you, if you're looking for your thing, like you said, filling up your soul and your spirit, man, this is the way to go.
Yeah. Have you ever, we've had with our family, my mom was mentoring through the Big Brothers program, and her little was going through the court system with her mom and dad. And so if you've ever been a part of that with a young person, you realize how extremely valuable those advocates are for those kids that are going through just like the hardest part of the time of their life.
Right.
And so to have someone in their corner is a huge thing. So,
right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Talking with Tiffany Thomson and Brian Pulley from United Way. And we're going to pause for a minute, and we're going to, I saved the Cumberland Connect commercial for you, Brian.
I'm on.
Oh, man. When did you get it?
They called me during the holidays, and we were going to be going to Arkansas, and they were going to come hook up. And so they hooked us up on Tuesday. The Tuesday we got back would have been January 3rd. He came and he was there like 7:30 that morning, ready to go. I called Spectrum to cancel. I'm still in a fight with them about equipment and stuff, but we're going to get that. They did not make it easy. They did not want me to go. They hooked us up. We're flying. absolutely flying through the house. Got the gig, got the big fast
Wow.
one. He got put the extender because of our back bedrooms, the way the house is laid out. We couldn't get internet back there. We're flying back there.
Okay.
We're moving. Beautiful.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Great service.
See, I want the extender because I want to be able to get it out in my barns even and things like that. So I'm going to talk to him about all the things, but I can't wait. It's on I was talking to Dr. Causey because he was kind of schooling me on it because I've got the box on the pole. They've got to the utility pole. And he said, well, the next thing will be they'll put it on the house. And he says, once they've got it connected to your house, then they'll call you and bring it in the house. Has that been your experience?
You will have two guys, and they just randomly came home one day, and thankfully it was during the holidays when we were around, and they'll run, like drop the line where where it comes in, and then from there they contacted us like a day or two later and for the install. And so I think they've got that contracted out with the people that are dropping the line. And then the guy that actually came was a Cumberland Connect guy. He used to do installs for DirecTV, he said, but he's going for Cumberland now. And he was super professional. Took about an hour or two to go through everything because he had to run everything upstairs. But yeah, and the extender thing, my parents, they have one in there. They have like a little, they call it a pole barn in the back of their house, and you couldn't get anything out there. No cell phone service, no anything. They got one of those run out there. They're flying out there. We're streaming the ball games during the the playoffs and all that, and it's away from the house. So for your purposes, they can definitely hook you up with that.
Oh, I'm excited! I can't wait.
Yeah.
But we're just staying on. I knew you had to be up now. And here's bottom line, guys. If you're wanting to get high speed internet and you are a Cumberland Electric customer, it's on its way. They're going to be knocking on your door. If you want to find out when it's coming to your area, go to www.cumberlandconnect.org. Put in your zip code. Check out the map. See when the availability is. Go ahead and sign up for the update. So they'll send you an email and say, hey, we're in your area. Do you want to sign up? And ask the questions. And here's something really cool. If you're somebody that you're like, I just can't afford it. Well, good news. Fill out the financial forms and you may qualify for free internet. And they're going to make sure that they're going to get everybody connected. And if not free, then highly discounted. But they've got a special financial aid program that they have set up. They want to make sure everybody gets high-speed internet. It's so crucial nowadays to what we do, from our education to our work, so many things, and so affordable, so many different packages that you can look at. You don't have to get the gig, but it's only $80. That's it.
Yeah.
$80 and you get a gig, and that's
moving.
1,000
Guys make
megabits
me
per
cry.
second. Because you're not a Cumberland Electric customer.
Every time I pay my Comcast bill, I just want to cry. I'm like, we have good
it's fine.
service. It's just $140.
And Spectrum was the same way when I called the council. He's like, well, what if we can beat? And I was like, I called you months ago trying to get my bill down, and you did nothing. And now that I was like, I've moved on.
Yeah.
I've moved on.
See you later.
Yeah. We're divorced. We're not together anymore.
I love it.
Tell me where I can send you equipment. Yeah.
I love it. I would have loved to have heard that conversation.
I'm very polite. I always try to be polite.
Yeah, me
I've done
too.
customer service.
Yeah.
I did that when I first started out of college. That's not an easy gig, and they're just doing their job. But it's like it took me an hour to
break up with them,
and I'm not under contract or anything like
Yeah.
that. And then when I sent it back, they said I didn't send the right equipment, and I owed them like $200. It's all a game. I know it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kept all my stuff. And the UPS store guy, thankfully, he told me, keep your stuff, because they may mess with you on this. He told me that too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. CumberlandConnect.org, guys. If you're a Cumberland Electric customer, come on. You're going to want this. CumberlandConnect.org. I cannot wait.
I've got
jealous.
another little plug too.
Okay.
You're talking about the
Go for
affordable
it.
internet stuff. So somebody in my family who works in the communications industry sent me this, and it's a program through the FCC.
Okay.
So it's a federal program, and it's called the Affordable Connectivity Program. I'm reading this because I can't remember all of it. But if you receive any kind of benefits, such as, well, if you're getting federal student loans, SNAP, Medicaid, federal housing assistance, et cetera, it's on their website. You are eligible to receive up to $30 a month towards internet service.
Okay.
And so this is a program through the FCC. I will give you the website. It is fcc.gov/ACP, and it's called the Affordable Connectivity Program. I told her I would pass this along.
Okay, yeah.
I think it pertains to your cell phone as well, and so it's all the details are on the website. So again, fcc.gov/ACP.
Okay.
And I can put that in the comments on the Facebook when I get back to the office, because it's something that we've been trying to.
Yeah.
Brian let me know about, and if also. $30 a month would be helpful off my bill, but like that's still a lot. If you're not a Cumberland Connect customer and you are looking for internet, because like you said, like it has so much to do. We actually just got connected yesterday to, I think it's called like Computers for People or so. I can't remember the name of the nonprofit. So, but they are giving us 25 desktops and 25 hotspots for people in need. So if you know of anybody that is not able to be connected because they don't have access to a computer or to internet, and they don't qualify for the Cumberland Connect thing because they don't live, out of the city limits, well, contact me, and we're going to try to get those 25, and not, maybe people need a computer, but they have internet, or maybe they need internet, but they have a computer. So that doesn't have to go together in a package.
Sure.
So 25 people that need internet, 25 people that need a desktop.
Okay.
So we're trying to get those into the hand. They had to be into hands. I can't just like take them and hold them, or else I would put them in the community closet. But so yeah, if you know of anybody who needs those services, the hotspot is free for 3 months, but then it will be $15 a month after that. But $15 a month is,
much more affordable.
Much
than a
more
lot of things,
affordable. Yeah. Then, so, let me know. And there is some, financial qualifications, but I think it's 200% of poverty, which, so it's what you call a lot of other programs. That's kind of like their cutoff is the 200% of poverty, which, a lot of people are like, I don't even know what that means. That's fine. You don't have to know what it means. Just contact me and we'll figure it out together. So
it's like when you fill out your stuff for, if you're going to anything that's associated with Second Harvest and you have to fill out a food voucher, it's same kind of qualifications, I would imagine.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Very
So,
similar.
Awesome. Very
so
good.
Yeah, we're wanting to get everybody connected. This is a connected world. There's so many more opportunities when you can, even just like I teach a seminary class to high schoolers in the morning. They don't print out manuals anymore. Like you got to go on to the app and get it all.
Everything.
And so
can't even get a real menu anymore.
That's true. You like
I'm gonna get it on my old man. It's like you've got to scan the thing. It's like when I go out with my wife, I don't take my phone in the restaurant on purpose.
Yeah,
I'm trying to have a conversation here and like actually catch up with her. It's like I don't have a phone. So can you tell me what I can eat?
Oh, wow. I never knew that. So I don't eat out much.
It was a pandemic thing. And so the first time we went out, like afterwards, the restaurants, they were doing it for safety. But now it's just like, I guess it's cheaper or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You have to scan the QR code and then you can look at their menu.
Really?
And it probably allows them to update it a little bit. But like a lot of the restaurants are there now. Like they do not have menus on the table. Like, especially we didn't even go to a fancy place. This is like a nice restaurant, but it was not super fancy and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't have a phone. What am I supposed to do?
Interesting.
Are you going to recite the menu to me, or can I borrow your phone, or what are we doing?
Funny.
Here?
How funny! I didn't know that
Sound
was
like
a thing.
Old man here, but that's all right.
No, I'm with you.
Give me a menu.
I'm with you. It's like, give me a menu, man. That's hysterical. Anything else before we part here?
I always want to give a shout out to the fact that my father's house is needing volunteers.
Oh yeah, Cheryl's going. Yes, she's on. Charlene's on here going. Yes. Of course, it's mild right now, but it won't stay that way.
Yeah, we talked about it for quite a long time last time. So I just want to kind of remind people that there is. Their highest need are for chaperones overnight, so you get to volunteer while you sleep, which is like the best volunteer gig ever, right? So yeah, and it is. Last week I couldn't remember the exact times. It's from 8 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And if you can't do that whole entire time, say you're a night owl, but you want to go home and sleep in your own bed at midnight, they do a lot of split shifts, and so you can get contact Charlene and she'll help you get matched up with somebody else who also just wants to split the night. And so that's a great way. So that's their highest need is sleeping on the job, but the other needs they have are people to check people in, food like dinner, breakfast, devotional. So I've done all those things a couple times. I have not spent the night. I want to try to do that, but I've done all the other things, and it's just amazing. The people in there. I mean, there's a lot of stigma about homelessness, what we think it looks like, what the causes of it are, and when you start talking to each one of those people, you find out everybody's got their own story. There is no one thing that causes homelessness, and there's no one thing that's keeping them there. And so I'm gonna tout it from the rooftops. Like if you can plug in there, it's the best way to you know, to be the hands and feet of Christ. I feel like it's being right there with the homeless. So
Amen. I miss all my homeless friends from the Benevolent Center. There's several of them I miss seeing them. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you guys for being here. Anything else? We're 8:02. You was going to get me.
Good to see you again. We had to catch
Good to
up.
see y'all too. Absolutely, we had to catch up. Took us a minute.
Yeah.
And I'm sure now I'll challenge you. Next week we're going to hear about the free tax prep, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
have a training on that on Saturday, so I'll know so much more about it.
Okay, good
when I
deal.
come in
Because
next week.
we've got free tax prep just knocking on the door, so I know that'll be a big
so
thing.
if you're interested in looking into volunteering, if you love numbers and that's how you want to volunteer, like I say, whatever your passion is, there's a place to plug in.
We got you.
They are the bridge builders to the nonprofits. They are the bridge builders to the nonprofits. I've always class you guys, you know, chamber to the businesses, bridge builders to the business. Y'all are the bridge builders to the nonprofits, and we
Try to
appreciate
be.
you.
Yep.
You're awesome. So
Thank
glad
you,
to
Ron
see you.
Jordan,
Thank you
with
for
your
being
local
here.
news from
Tomorrow will be
WSGI.
Faith Friday. I was talking
Under
to
report is
Jamie
showing shocking
Nixon
rates
this
of
morning
domestic
about trying to get
violence
somebody
among
in
Tennessee
here,
high
maybe
school
associated
girls.
with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So maybe we'll do that. But I hope you'll join us for Faith Friday tomorrow, and be sure and read your daily Bible entries. We're doing that with the Bethlehem Baptist Church. I hope you will join us for that, and we'll keep you up to date on that tomorrow as well. We'll kind of do a really good recap tomorrow. We're in Genesis. So read Genesis, the first 5 Psalms, and you're going to be up to date with us reading the Bible through in a year. God bless. Have a wonderful day. This is 1100 WSGI.
Can be